good, Bulls fans and Horniacs? What's going on? And welcome to... What are you laughing at?
No.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Don't call them that. That's mean.
All right, we got to face facts, guys, that there are fans that listen to us that aren't Bulls fans. So what do we call them? You know, we got to call them the Horniacs. If you guys could think of something better...
That sounds terrible. It just sounds like...
If you guys could think of something better, let me know. You know what? Let the fans decide. What do you guys want to be called? I like Horniacs. I think it's awesome.
Terrible day.
It's an awesome name.
Terrible day. What's up, you Horniac? Like, pretty much call him a sex offender.
No, it's not. Horniacs. I
get the wordplay.
What a way to kick off the 10th episode. Anyway. Welcome, Bulls fans, and welcome to the 10th edition of the Hornsoverhoops podcast. We made it to 10 episodes, fellas. So big applause and congratulations to us three.
Yay.
Yeah. Did you guys ever think we'd make it 10 episodes?
I didn't think we were going to make 3 episodes.
Yeah, I thought
I didn't
we'd
think we'd ever make one.
Especially after how bad the team started, I thought we were just going to quit.
Yup, especially after the beginning, the first half of the season, how that went. Yeah, I was ready to give up on the podcast after that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, what were we gonna talk about? The Bulls suck again. The Bulls suck again. Yeah. Hey, guess what? The Bulls still suck.
Yeah, you guys ever see that movie Groundhog Day, where it's like it's Groundhog's Day again?
Never heard
of it.
Like
the Bulls suck again.
By the way,
honestly,
if you go to Woodstock, there's a bunch of like plaques on the ground where like certain scenes happened in that movie.
Oh,
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
Yeah, downtown Woodstock, man. Go check it out. They also made a bar out of the old county jail.
That's cool too. Dang.
So I didn't even think we'd make it to the first episode. We always like make plans to do stuff, and it's usually like lunch and dinner. Like everyone's like, "Hey, I just found this awesome place to go get food." Yeah, when are we gonna go get food? Next weekend. Next weekend comes and goes, not a whisper.
Yeah.
So whenever we came up with the idea, like, let's just start a podcast, I was like, that's gonna be another idea pissed to the wind.
Well, we've been talking about doing this podcast for a very, very long time. We were waiting on one person and one person only, and that is Scott Berman.
Yeah, because Alex kept telling me editing sucks.
Yeah.
You're going to hate doing it. And guess what? Editing kind of sucks. And I do not enjoy doing it because it's like you
just
think
tedious.
you think you're almost done, and just kidding, you have another hour and a half to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you get all done and you figure out that you deleted or you muted half of the people talking and you have to go back and fix it.
The worst is when you somehow delete only one or two tracks and you forget the third track, and then you have to re-edit things back together. So yeah, editing's fun, guys.
It's a lot of magic behind the scenes, guys.
So start your own podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be fun, they said. Anyway, coming back into reality here. It is our 10th episode. We appreciate everyone who's given us love and let us make it to 10 episodes. We hope to be here, not another 10 more, because it's not setting the bar too high, but we hope to be here another 10,000. I'll say that.
Yeah, we'll go as long as we have some listeners. Some. Even if there's one, we got you, bud.
Yeah, we'll go till they silence us. How about that?
There you go.
When Jerry Reinsdorf comes to my door and says, "Stop it," I'll probably record another episode, and then we'll be done.
Yep.
I'm not listening to Jerry. I don't respect him.
Listen to Jerry. Give me Lonzo's, his insurance money, and then I'll stop.
Yeah, I'll stop when he actually plays a game. How about that?
So next year?
Okay. And please do continue to leave cookies and milk for Santa Claus. Anyway.
Shot to Santa?
Anyways, the Bulls have been playing absolutely phenomenal basketball lately. They went 6-4 over the last 10 games, including a 3-game win streak. They're currently sitting 4th in the division and 9th overall in the conference. So Bulls are starting to climb their way out of that play-in picture and trying to solidify an actual playoff spot. So I'm really excited about this one. We'll break it down. We got a lot of things that happened. Kobe has been playing like an absolute madman. He's pretty much solidifying himself as a great overall player and not just a shooter. Zach and Vooch make their comebacks. Drummond goes from starting back to the bench. We got some poll questions. And since this is our 10th episode, we're treating our listeners with not one, but two of my games. So you're not going to want to miss this one. Let's just jump right into it. Fellas, how you feeling about this team right now?
I'm feeling good. I think there should be some tweaks at the trade deadline. But being the Bulls, I would not be surprised at the same time if we stand pat at the deadline. But we can talk about that at another time. But yeah, I like where the team's going. We're, ninth right now, you said?
Yeah, we're sitting ninth overall in the conference.
I think if we finish the season at 6, that I would consider that a successful season for this team.
Yeah, I think that's what we predicted at the beginning of the year, that we'd place somewhere around the 6 area. We definitely had them better than 10th, that's for sure.
I had them at 6, and if they land at 6, that's why I would say it would be successful.
Scott, what do you think?
I don't know about the. I don't know. We're in a weird spot right now because we know this. Well, we hope that this isn't the final team that we're going to have the rest of the year. So, I like some things they're doing, but also there's some things that still annoy me with this team, like their lack of perimeter defense, their lack of willingness to try to box people out and just watch balls go. There's too many offensive rebounds that other teams get against us and too many second chance points. There's certain things I like that they're doing, and then there's also a lot of things that I do not like. So we're in a weird spot right now, but also it's kind of sucks that we're rooting for the Bulls to go 500.
Real quick, we are currently 18th in the league for defensive rating. I'm just saying, at the beginning of the season, we were 28th, so we jumped up 10 spots.
Well, we have been playing better. We've been playing leaps and bounds better. You know, this team, I don't know if they got their stuff together, or if the shots just started falling, or they just learned how to play together, whatever it is. But we have been doing a lot better than the start. It also takes time to get that preseason rust out. You know what I mean? You come out the first 5 games. It's a long off season.
Also, it didn't I'm pretty sure I saw that Billy was changed up the offense this last off season, so it probably took him a while just to get comfortable with the new system. It was probably hard because in the beginning of the season, Zach didn't want to play the system. So I feel like we're settling into Billy's offensive schemes, and I think it's paying off.
So you guys would say that's the key to the success was finally just, hey, listening to your coach and playing into the system. And
not playing so much ISO, not heavily relying on DeMar to do everything.
So that I agree with you in that. One thing that pisses me off is in crucial minutes, no matter if he's hot or if he's ice cold, the Bulls continue to try to run that DeMar DeRozan ISO. DeMar refuses to look to see an open player, takes the shot himself. Now, granted, DeMar is probably our most I don't know, do you want to call him the most automatic scorer? 90% of the times you give the ball to DeMar, you can count on him to score.
That is what he's most known for, yeah.
Right. But I'm also a firm believer of if you can find a better shot option, especially in crucial minutes, pass it up.
Or even if someone else out there is hot.
Right. Even Michael Jordan passed the ball to Steve Kerr, that one time. That one time.
Kobe passed to Ron Artest that one time.
Yeah. So, I mean, all jokes aside, this team is playing leaps and bounds better, whether it's chemistry or what have you, but it does seem like they are playing like the team that they should have been. And playing better than he should have been is Kobe White. Guys, he's been on a phenomenal tear.
Yes, sir.
He's been shooting the ball tremendously. He did kind of go in a little bit of a slump there right after his streak. I thought it was his streak was keeping his shooting alive, keeping his even maybe it was more focused because he knew he was having a streak, but no. He went on a little bit of slump. Now he's back to not only shooting the ball tremendously. Guys, have you seen some of the passes this man is making?
Yeah, he's tearing it up right now. And, like, it's crazy because, like, a couple episodes ago, I do remember us talking about, like, what is Kobe's, like, ceiling? And none of us had him, like, as, like, I'm pushing for Kobe to be an all-star right now, you know? Like, I didn't think he'd be an all-star ever, but here I am pushing. Vote for Kobe, all-star.
Scott, what do you think about Kobe?
His shot he's been struggling with his shot a bit. He like came back to earth. I think there was a couple games where he didn't make a single three, and he went on like, I don't know, like a 17 game tear where he was hitting like 2 threes a game. So, but I did start noticing he's driving a lot more and he's making those crazy layups, which that's what I would rather see out of him is drive more and stop taking Denzel Valentine range threes. But
Denzel Valentine, DV45, baby. Do you think that like the lanes are opening up for him now that Zach is back? So now he has like, you know, room to actually drive, because before, like, they were closed the lanes on him because they know that he's going to drive.
I mean, yeah,
But
maybe
with
a
Zach
little
out
bit.
there,
Well,
Zach out there,
part of
spreads
it
the floor.
too is Vooch was hurt, so Drummond was
true.
sitting down there. Vucevic does not post up, or if he posts up, it's like 15 feet from the basket. So the lane's clogged when Drummond's down there, but Vooch, it's open. He's blowing by people. He's using the athleticism that he has, and he's making some really good plays. Going back to Sal's thing about Debo not passing, just watching last night's game, there was so many times that Ao or Craig were just standing by the three-point line with their hands up, just wide open, and he would just...
You mean Carter?
Yeah, Carter, sorry. Carter, who has the smoothest jump shot I've ever seen. Holy shit, that looks so good. But they're
so nice.
Yeah, they were both wide open by the three, and he would just take a contested pump fake 3 times, take a contested shot.
Do Debo things.
Carter's jump shot is like, you guys remember, I mean, maybe Scott does, Ken Griffey Jr. swing, how it was just like beautiful looking. That's Javon Carter's jump shot. It's just so smooth. It's like, wow.
Wow. Wow, so that's how I'm supposed to be shooting.
So neat.
Yeah. Yeah, but so Kobe, like, here's the thing. I want to go back to Kobe shooting it. I am not going to stop until I hear Stacey King announce that Kobe shot the ball from like an area close to where we live. Every time he winds up a shot, it's always like, oh, that was from Lake Forest. That was from Libertyville. That's from LaGrange. Like, I can't wait to hear him say, yeah, that's from like Antioch or something.
I don't know if he knows about Antioch.
Okay. But yeah, not only has he been tearing it up, we did get Zach Lavine back. He's coming back from that right foot injury that sidelined him for multiple weeks, a couple months actually. I don't think he's played since November. Zach's come back, and guys, I don't know if you realize this, the Bulls went on their first win streak of the year with Zach Lavine in the rotation. They went on a 3-game win streak. And how do you guys feel about Zach's overall play since he's come back?
I feel like it's like a roller coaster. Like, he has, like, okay, so his first game was against Charlotte, the first time he played against Charlotte. Defense, phenomenal. He was playing, like, Team USA level defense. It was Team USA Zach, pretty much, which I love. But then the second game, he goes back to, like, his old habits. The next game after that, Zach is doing good again. He was good last game as well, so hopefully he's on a trend. I'm waiting for Zach to go back to his old habits.
So you think this is like, you think Zach is putting on a facade to get his...
Just to get his stock
like,
up.
Trade stock
I
up?
feel like he does know if he plays better team basketball and shows a winning attitude, he has a better shot of leaving the team that he wants to leave.
I mean, he has, if you look at the games he's come back on, I mean, I forgot which game it was, but the man was like 3 assists short of a triple-double. He had 13 rebounds. Was that against Charlotte?
Houston.
The Houston game. The 2 games in a row we went to overtime. Scott, what do you think about Zach's performance coming back?
So I think Zach is playing this perfectly because he's showing that I can be a team player. I think the last 3 games he's got 7 assists, like each game. Mm-hmm. But he's also showing is like, hey, I can take a backseat. I can let the rest of the team work. He's going to get rebounds. He's doing everything that you need for a guy that's not the number one option. But also, like during the Houston game, during the Golden State game, he came up and was like, okay, I'm going to show you I can score. So he's playing it like showing I can be versatile. I can be that third option. I don't need to be the number one guy that I used to be, which
is perfect because...
Yes, but it's not what the Bulls need because, like, yeah, he's getting, like, he had 2 games where it was, like, 9 points, 10 points. I need Zach to get 15-plus points a game. We struggle against, like, bad teams like the Spurs because he shot 8 times. Zach should be shooting more than 8 times, but he's trying to show I can be a team player and let other people try.
He's being a little too passive. And, yeah, he's not being aggressive when we need him to be aggressive. That is something I noticed as well. Because, yeah, I mean, he's playing better overall basketball, but, like, when we need him to be the killer that he can be, like, scoring-wise, I think against the Spurs, I saw him drive all the way to the basket. He could have laid it up, but instead he passed it to someone that was in the corner. But regardless, it's an easy bucket for you right there, Zach, but he decided to pass.
Yeah, that's one thing that I will give Zach Lavine as he is, and Stacey King even compliments him on this all the time, is Zach is probably one of the best catch-and-shoot players that we got.
Oh, he's been saying that all season.
He's been saying, and he said it last season, too.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. I want Zach to be more aggressive. I appreciate the fact that Zach's coming back, trying to get his teammates involved, trying to maybe get a new role, you know, as far as a facilitator and a distributor, as opposed to just that guy who scores. He's trying to be a little bit more than just a two-dimensional there. But yeah, like you say, he's passing up a lot of good shots to which that they're money for him. They're easy shots for him, you know, and sometimes we need that player that's going to step up and take those shots. 8 shots coming from if he's not the star of our team, he's 1A and 1B with DeMar. Scorer. You need somebody to take those opportunities. Do I think he's doing it to raise his trade stock? I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure his agent told him something if you want to leave this team, but I don't really think
Hold on, sorry, real quick. You're telling me that Rich Paul didn't come up to Zach and be like, hey, we need to see you pass more because you're going to be passing to AD and LeBron quite a bit?
I don't think he's going to Los Angeles, but yes, yeah, I think whether or not his agent said you need to pass the ball more because, you know, whatever, told him how to be a better player if he wants to get off, irrelevant. Because I don't know. I don't think Zach doesn't want to be a part of this team. I think he loves the guys. He shows it. If you look at him on the sideline, he loves his players. I just don't think he has... I mean, maybe he's just a player who has a problem with authority, or he sees the system a little differently than Billy. I don't know. I'm not Zach Lavine. I'm not going to speak for him. But I think rather than worrying about where we're going to send this guy in February, we need to worry about sitting down with him and actually saying, look, Zach, I understand you're upset, okay? What can we do as an organization? Because you're a tremendous athlete. You bring a lot to the table. Your talents will be greatly appreciated everywhere else, but you're here. What can we do to keep you here and bestow winning basketball back to the fans in the city of Chicago? I think that should be our number one priority, not what draft picks are we going to get if we trade him. I mean, is that just me, or do you guys kind of share that?
I feel like he's starting to feel okay with staying here, but I think he still wants to leave. Like, you saw him like during several of the games where he seemed to be enjoying himself. And we didn't see that earlier in the season. Like, he was joking around laughing. Like you said, Sal, he was having a great time when he was hurt, he was on the bench, like cheering the team up, like coaching them, having a great time. And I feel like he's starting to enjoy basketball again. So you could probably go either way with, does he want to get traded or not? I think he does still lean towards he wants a different opportunity because this team's not going to win a championship. The Lakers maybe, but that team, there's so many issues with that team. And I don't think they have enough trade prospects to get him, but we'll see.
Not without a 3-team. I've been saying it all since the beginning of our cast, not without a 3-team trade. The teams that are good, that make a playoff or like a championship push, I'm going to say, I mean, without looking at any stats, it's very rare that you see them trade one-on-one just because their assets are just very low. You know what I mean? When you trade for a caliber player of Zach Lavine, you almost got to get a third team involved by force. I want him to take not a back seat, but a different role in this lineup. I'd love to see Zach Lavine stay. Let's just face it. I said it 2 casts ago. You're not going to find another player that brings the stats, emotion, dedication that Zach Lavine brings to this team in a trade. He's already here. He's probably, I think I remember seeing correctly, him and Kobe are the longest tenured Bulls since, that have been on the team.
Yep.
You're not going to replace that. You're not going to replace that leadership, that dedication. So why look to trade him when you can actually keep him?
I mean, it's a stretch, but maybe Kobe could be that guy. You said that Kobe and Zach are both the tenure. Like, maybe Kobe could rise to the occasion, be the leader. I mean, he's the point guard. He's getting better and better every single game at that position. Plus, I mean, how many times have you heard Zach complain about his role with the team? Like, I've heard it multiple times.
Yeah.
Even before he signed that max contract, that he was questioning his role with the Bulls.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he still is. And maybe it hit a tipping point this season where he was just like, we're not winning. You put me all the way at the top, and you don't treat me like I'm the best player on this team. You treat DeMar like he's the best player of the team. That's why DeMar's taking like the last shot all the time. So maybe it got to a tipping point with him.
Well, yeah. But also I'm a firm believer that
I was going to say, like, Zach is a professional when he's like talking to the media, or just he's a professional in pretty much almost everything he does. But at least once or twice a year, I would always hear some rumor that Zach is upset with his role.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like maybe that's kind of a factor of him wanting to be off the team. It wouldn't surprise me if he stays with the team.
Yeah, but you also got to look at soul searching.
Well, yeah, that's why I think a reason why I think he wouldn't be traded, because in the beginning of the season, we all know this team was dog shit. And losing will destroy your
morale.
Yeah, your mental morale and everything. Like, God, hopefully none of the Detroit Pistons players loses it.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we're winning and like the vibes are all good now, like maybe he does want to stay. But it wouldn't surprise me if he wants out still, just because his role. I mean, Zach seems to cry when the cameras are off.
But here's the thing, and I'll go back to what I was saying earlier, that Zach needs to kind of do some soul searching and kind of reevaluate who he is as a player. We all said it. He's not going to be a number one option anywhere he goes. So the best thing that Zach Lavine can do is just accept it. And what else could I bring to the table? I have these talents. Instead of trying to be the best player on the team, quote unquote, because honestly, they don't give an award for the best player on your team. So what's the point of being the best player on the team or the best teammate on your team? Okay. He should find another way to make himself stand out on the team. Not saying he's not a tremendous athlete, but you don't need to be the best scorer on our team. If DeMar is the best scorer on the team, so what? If Kobe's the best scorer on the team, so what? But if you can be a team captain and facilitate plays, pump up your teammates, and just bring a positive attitude to the team, you're already, in my eyes, the best player on the team. Sometimes stats don't necessarily make you the best player on the team. And I think that's what Zach's problem was, is he was too busy trying to be trying to be that stats, trying to be the best player on the team. This is my team, but you don't have to score 34 points a game to be the best player on the team. And I'm sorry, I'll say it. DeMar DeRozan is a way better scorer than you. Kobe White is getting to be a better scorer than Zach Lavine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the only thing I really want from Zach, keep playing the way you're playing. You're playing great. But if I don't see like double digits point-wise next to your name, then what are you doing out there, man? Like you should be able to get 10 to 15 points in a quarter easily. So just do it.
In a quarter? In a quarter. 10 to 15 points in a quarter?
Yeah.
So he's going to average 40 points a game.
No. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, at the end of the night, don't have 9.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the night, have at least 10 to 15 points. And you should be able to do that in a quarter.
Well, double digits is a given. Zach Lavine is a caliber player that even messing around, he should be able to get you 20 points a game. Okay, so that's 15 shots a game. Zach's going to get 15 shots a game. Right. He'll get you 20 points.
The downside of Zach being back is I feel like Pat kind of is back to his old self. Like I've seen Pat, his stat line, it's kind of like the beginning of the season, rookie year Pat. I'm just like, where's the Patrick that like would average like 15 points or like 12 to 15 points, get those rebounds, get those assists.
Well, I also believe that we're utilizing players on this team improperly, but I'm not a coach.
Yeah, true. I agree with you on that.
You know what I mean? But I do think that there are players on this team that are not being used the way that they should be used. I don't know. Scott, what do you think?
Patrick Williams, I think he's taking a step back because he's not getting as many chances to shoot. But also, he's kind of been hurt ever since Zach got back. So it's like we haven't been able to see it. He's still taking those nice shots. What I really like about Patrick Williams is he's kind of he's been working with Debo a lot. You see that with his mid-range jumper. He's trying to get that going.
Same with Kobe.
Yeah, but since Zach's on the floor, he's taking 8 to 15 shots a game. It's obviously going to take away from other people. So that's when you kind of need to see Patrick Williams step up in other ways and start moving around more. You need to start seeing him drive to the basket more when he gets a chance. You need to see him start being able to maybe start learning how to post up a bit. Maybe start doing like those other things. So Patrick Williams, it sucks that he needs to change his game when Lavine's on the floor because he's not getting as many chances. But I wouldn't say he's reverted back yet. He's nowhere near back to where he was at the beginning of the season, where he didn't score for like 5 out of 10 games or something, where he got like 2 points. He's definitely in a better spot, but it's
true.
I don't know. I think
I just don't want Zach being back
to be an excuse. Yeah.
Well, no, just to I don't want Patrick to regress because Zach is back. Like I feel like that's why Kobe kind of struggled Zach's first game back, is because, all right, should I still do what I was doing when Zach wasn't here, or should I, do I give the ball to Zach more, or, trying to figure out how's this going to flow with Zach and the system again.
Well, that's what happens when you have an entire lineup of people who need to score the ball and nobody knows how to distribute the ball. You know what I mean? You're going to have that clash.
Well, that's why we got Lonzo. That's why we had Lonzo. Lonzo was a pass first.
Yeah. Now he's a sit first.
Sit only right now.
Yeah, sit only. Well, here's my thing. I don't think he regressed at all. I don't think Pat regressed. The thing is, I don't think Pat was ever...
I'm not saying he has regressed. I was saying that I'm afraid that he will regress or go back to how he was if Zach stays on this team.
Like I said it on the first on the first episode when we talked about Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams, I think everybody was overhyped about Patrick Williams because of us calling him the next Kawhi, calling him a Durant-style scorer. Patrick Williams is a defensive guy that can get you 10 points a game. He steps up for that scorer who's not scoring. Okay. What I've seen from Patrick Williams in growth over the season is this. From the beginning of the season, I saw a guy who was passing up wide open threes because he didn't want to, he didn't want the embarrassment of missing shots in a row. He's now turned into a player that is taking shots in people's faces. He was afraid to drive the lane. I see this guy now trying to drive the lane and do turnaround jump shots in people's face. Okay. I've seen a guy who didn't want to go baseline and go to the bucket, and he's trying to posterize at least one person every game. So his growth and development is there. The problem is there's not enough touches in the game to make Patrick Williams the player that Chicago fans want him to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still a tremendous athlete, and what he brings to the table is still helpful. You know what I mean?
So that take right there, I just watched a video by Jimmy High and he basically said the same thing. This was on a hot take thing on the NBA subreddit. NBA fans do not watch games. They're looking at stats. What you just said, all those things, you won't see that in the stat sheet. You won't see a guy that is starting to try to posterize people all game. You wouldn't see that he's not afraid to take these jump shots, even if he's not missing it. It's too often people are just looking at stats. We do the same thing.
We're not to say I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, we're not watching every game. And you don't see that development. You just look at stats and say, well, he's regressed, but he's changed his game. He's become more confident.
Yeah. I've said it all the time. You can't measure energy on a stat sheet. There's no room for it. There's no place you can measure energy. I think that Patrick Williams brings energy and he knows his role. Would you rather sacrifice his defensive abilities for somebody who can score 15 more points a game, but he's a defensive liability? I mean, to me, I like Patrick Williams the way he is. Also returning with Zach, we'll move on to this. Vucevic came back in the same game as Zach from his groin injury. Both of them played limited minutes. They've since been released and are back to full strength. And they both came in off the bench. Drummond did start that game. Drummond has been on a tear lately since in Vooch's absence. And when he came back, it kind of moved him back into that bench role that he had before. But Vooch coming back, he had a couple really solid games. I think both those games that he was full strength, he got a double-double in both of them, didn't he? Including one 16 rebound game and another 20 and 13 game.
Yeah.
But despite that, the Chicago fans still want Drummond to start.
No.
So what's your guys' thoughts on Vooch and why is it appropriate that Vooch starts?
I think Vooch should start just because offensively, he brings way more to the table. Like Scott said earlier, with Vooch out there, it opens up the lanes for Kobe as well to drive to the basket. Because Vooch can hit it from mid-range. He can sometimes hit the three. He can post up. He has great passing vision as well for a center. So that's why he should start over Drummond. Drummond is amazing. Drummond is hands down the best center coming off the bench. Hands down. He could probably start for the Pistons or some other trash team. Even some other mediocre team. He could probably be a starter. But no, Vooch over Drummond. Hands down, all the time. If anything, play both of them at the same time when other teams are playing big. We've brought that up on the podcast as well.
Scott, what do you think about that?
I don't know how to think about Vooch. He has games where he goes off and he's scoring like crazy. We should be running through him, but he's so afraid to take advantage of mismatches he has down low. And he passes up easy shots that he should be making. He can't shoot the three anymore. He did make some big ones yesterday, but I think he's shooting 27% from three this year. He is been abysmal from three. So I don't like that he stands out there all the time. He also does a lot of ball watching, which causes us to get or the other team to get a lot of offensive rebounds when he's out there. That's not something that Drummond does. Drummond's out there getting rebounds over three people. Vooch is just kind of standing there, and he'll get the easy rebounds, but he's not going to get the contested rebounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, which only bolsters, what I said, and that's I think we're using them wrong, in my opinion. Vucevic fits the mold of a power forward. I said that before. And if they wanted to run a system where it was Drummond starting and Vooch at a power forward, I think it could work. But you do need somebody grabbing rebounds. Vooch is kind of, I don't know if it almost looks like he's afraid to box out sometimes, where Drummond's big body will box you out and knock you out. You know what I mean? And you need both of that. I think together they make one complete center. But they're
Do you want to go the Minnesota route where they have Rudy and Cat playing at the same time?
Whatever. I mean, Vooch is a tremendous scorer. We've seen it, but he lacks in rebound. Drummond is a tremendous scorer or a tremendous rebounder, but he's not the best scorer.
Yeah, he's not that great on offense.
Yeah, I think he's averaging probably more missed dunks a game than points a game at this point. But you don't need, again, I'm going to say it again, you don't need everyone on the team to score. You need somebody who excels in one particular area.
Well, part of the reason I think they're not doing it is we have no big men. We have those two, and that's it. We were playing
Terry Taylor at 6'5".
At center,
he was holding his own.
Yeah, but that's the point, is that's who we're playing. We have, what's the guy from the G League that's...
Oh, yes. My guy, Sonogo.
Why not bring him up and, try to put him on the bench? Get get these guys some minutes. Let's get some other big men. We don't have anybody but those two, and that is causing us to get destroyed on the offensive boards in the second chance points.
I think that's kind of on Billy for loving small ball a little too much.
Let me give you guys some numbers, okay? And I don't want to hear people whining, oh, it's just the G League. I don't want to hear that.
Oh, God.
19.2 points per game, 10.9 rebounds per game, almost 1 assist a game, but 2 blocks a game. Of those 10.9 rebounds, 6.5 of them are offensive rebounds per game from my guy out of Connecticut, Adama Sanogo. Why in God's name are we not bringing this guy up and developing him? I'm not saying throw him out there and let him play crucial minutes, but I'm saying bring him in there. He's a big body, and he's proven that he can get stats. He's a 20-11 guy in the G League and 2 blocks a game. Again, it's the G League. I understand there's a gap in talent, but transcending that into the NBA, especially when we're kind of short big men on this team. Let's be honest with you. I don't know why we're playing little 6'5" Terry Taylor at center when we have a guy who fits the mold that can play center in the G League, but we choose to just ignore him.
I mean, they brought him up for a couple of games while Vooch was out. I mean, did he get? Yeah, he got like just trash minutes.
Well, the one game we were getting like absolutely destroyed. I forgot what team it was, but we brought him in for like 9 minutes. And Sanogo in those 9 minutes got 8 points and 6 rebounds, including a block. Like, I mean, yes, it's against other people's trash, but he still got it.
Yeah. And to your point, like, since we are thin for the big men on this roster and everything, just bring them up, give them some minutes, let them develop. Give him some real NBA experience, and like this kid could blossom into, like, I'm not gonna say like all-star caliber or anything like that, but he could easily blossom into like either a role player or a starting caliber kind of player.
Yeah, or even just a solid backup.
Just experiment, Billy. Just little tweaks here and there. Never hurt anyone.
All we're asking for is him to play against other bench players. It's not like we're saying, hey, go out there and be a starter.
Yeah, I'm not saying like, hey, like you're going up against Joel Embiid tonight. Good luck. Like, no, I'm saying like you're going up against, I can't even think of any backup centers right now. Like,
you're going up against that guy in Atlanta that Andre Drummond made him his little bitch.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I've always been a fan of Sanogo since we drafted him. I did watch a little bit of him. In college, you guys got to understand, in college, he was a dominant force. So I want to see him play more minutes. And if it wasn't for my absolute terrible luck with buying jerseys, you'd see me sitting here with a number 21 Windy City Bulls Adama Sanogo jersey. And if anyone listening wants to donate it, feel free. But I'm glad we mentioned Sanogo because going back to Zach, reeling it back to Zach, everybody wants Zach to be traded. I think it's just because Chicago fans love trades and love like gossipy things. Everyone is the same. Everyone's saying the same thing. I want to see picks for Zach. But if the picks that we get from Zach are just going to sit on the bench or rot away in the G League, what the heck is the point of even trading him? I mean, let me give you some names. Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, Onurep Batim, Adama Sanogo. Those are the picks that we've picked recently, and where do you see them? Dalen Terry just now in year 2 is starting to play, I don't want to say crucial minutes, but more minutes. Julian Phillips plays trash minutes, shows his energy, and gets rewarded by getting sent down to the G League the next game. I don't think there's a Chicago fan who watches the game who even knows who Onurep Batim is. But that's a guy who came overseas, was shooting lights out, displayed he could shoot out in the G League or in the preseason, and we haven't seen him. So, I mean,
I would trade Zach for some picks just because we don't have any picks. But I mean, you gotta ask yourself: if we trade Zach, are we doing a rebuild or are we doing a retool? Because if we're doing a rebuild, then obviously go get picks. Go get picks. Go get as many picks as you can for Zach. But for retooling, just get like 1 or 2, maybe they don't even have to be like first round picks, and then just get a solid player for him. Like, it doesn't even, like, I'm at the point where it doesn't even have to be an all-star caliber player. Just get a good role player or some sort of starting caliber player that'll fit the system, to fit what you want to do here in Chicago.
So I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because we're going to actually tie this back in there. Updated trade rumors for Zach. I've heard of Jonathan Kuminga, Kevin Huerter. I've even heard Klay Thompson's name thrown into the picture. Where do you guys realistically see him going now? Scott, go ahead.
First of all, give me Kuminga immediately. Holy crap, that guy killed us.
It's not going to happen.
No, I don't think so, but...
Well, no, the Warriors said that they're not going to trade Kuminga.
Oh, okay. Well, too bad. That guy has taken a massive step this year. He's become a great professional, and I think it would be a great spot for us, but I don't see that happening. We'll see. I don't know where Zach's going to go. And again, we don't even know if he's actually going to get traded, because there's all these talks of he has no trade market and all that, which I still think the Lakers are going to try to get him, because that team is built terribly.
And I refuse to believe that there is absolutely no market for Zach. I mean, we saw rumblings of a market for Zach right after his first game back. So I personally think that there's forever going to be a shot of him going to the Lakers, not Philly, not Miami. I think the only other team that he could possibly go to is Sacramento, because the Sacramento Kings seem pretty eminent about trading or about getting a third star. And I don't even know if that's going to come to fruition or not, because I saw that they were looking at DeJounte Murray. They were also looking at, I think they were looking at Klay Thompson and Siakam. They're also looking at Siakam. So who knows? I think Siakam's probably going to get traded before Zach. Again, if Zach gets traded at all, like, I really don't think Zach's going to be traded.
I'll be honest with you, of all the updated trade rumors I've heard, I don't like any of them. Like, Kevin Huerter is having a terrible shooting season.
He's doing better now.
Why do you want that? He's doing better now.
I wanted Kevin Huerter for a long time.
Well, yeah, but when you're trading a potential star of your team and you're getting back somebody's bench player.
Well, like I said before, like, as long as he's a good role player or even a starting caliber player, I think we'll be fine, because we've shown that we can play and actually compete when Zach's not on the roster.
Yeah, but you've also seen what Zach brings to the table.
Oh yeah, no,
not
for
just
sure. For sure.
So, and then the Kuminga trade, I think that got pulled off the table the absolute second that he lit us up during the Ring of Honor game. Klay Thompson, I mean, do you really want Klay Thompson over Zach Lavine? Ask yourself that. Do you really want an aging hurt player?
We're not getting anyone from the Warriors. Like, the Warriors have come out and said publicly that they're not trading any of their players.
Yeah. I mean, the only player I want for Zach Lavine is Malik Monk, because that guy's tearing it.
I'll take Monk in a minute.
But realistically speaking, if I get an unprotected first-round pick, it's got to be unprotected, and just a solid big man, I'll be fine. I don't need another superstar on this team. I just want an unprotected pick. I'm sick and tired of the Bulls trading for these protected picks that then when we do finally get it unprotected, there's nobody in the draft pool, or we get it because we're in the lottery, and again, there's no talent in the draft pool.
Well, honestly, even if we get a pick, do we have our own pick this year?
We have the Blazers pick.
No, I thought we had our own pick as well.
We may, but I know we have that Blazers pick.
Regardless, this year's draft doesn't look that good. Like, once you get out of, I think, the lottery, like the first 5 players, then it's just, I heard it's like just mediocre. I don't know for sure, because I don't watch college basketball or international basketball, but that's just what I've heard from news articles.
Yeah, again, and this will be the year that the Bulls get a top pick.
No, I mean, I saw a draft projection, and I think we have the 7th pick. Lucky number 7 again.
Yeah, the Bulls in number 7, the draft pick. I should make one of my games is, can you name all the Bulls players drafted number 7?
I mean, that's what we should have done for the game for our 7th episode.
Well, all jokes aside, whatever happens with Zach Lavine, we'll find out in the next coming weeks. But I still am a firm believer of if he's turned his ways around and he found a new role and a new character in himself, I'd rather keep him than have him go somewhere else and knowing that he could have done that for us. But let's have you guys decide. We'd like to hear from the fans. Where do you guys think that he's going? That'll be our fan poll there.
If at all.
If at all. Yeah. Is he going to the Kings? Is he going to the Warriors? Is he going to Lakers? Or is he staying right here in Chicago? Let us know. Fellas, it's episode number 10. So we got 2 critical thinking questions for you. Scott, what do you got for a critical thinking question?
So Dan sent us this image that was posted on, I believe, the NBA subreddit or something like that. But it was basically most disappointing player by team. So it basically listed every team and who they said the most disappointing player this year was on that team. So, like, obviously the Wizards, Jordan Poole, the Celtics, Drew Holiday, the Pistons, Jaden Ivey.
The Kings had Kevin Huerter on theirs.
And we want to trade for that.
Yeah, but people like that.
Yeah, I do.
They had the Bulls at Zach Lavine. Now, is Zach Lavine the most disappointing player on this team, or is it someone else?
I mean, do you want to tackle that, Dan?
I would agree with it just because, well, first off, the season's not done. And they're basing this off of everything we've seen till today, pretty much, I'll say. So I would say it would be Zach because in the beginning of the season, Zach was playing selfish. He wasn't passing. The shots he was taking weren't really falling. In the beginning of the season, he was our number one guy, and he was not playing like a number one guy. He was not playing like he got paid $43 million to play basketball this year. So I would say it would be Zach 100%. If it's not Zach, then I would say maybe Vooch, but I wouldn't really say Vooch just because Vooch has been consistent pretty much all season. So I mean that's just my take.
Scott, what would you say? And then I'll give you mine.
I think it's Zach, but I would say Vooch is closer to being just as disappointing because just watching this year, he seems afraid to try to post up, which he used to do last year. He can't hit the 3 anymore. He's passing up wide open shots a lot. He's playing worse defense. He seems to has taken a major step back this year in his play. Plus, how many minutes he's playing is causing Drummond not to play as many. So Zach, for all the reasons Dan said, but I would say Vooch is right there with him.
Dan's going to hate me for who I'm about to say.
You're going to say Lonzo? Well, guess what? He's hurt, you jerk. Can't play.
Well, that's disappointing on its own, but my guy, it's not Vooch, and it's not Zach. So the most disappointing Bull that I'm picking this season is Jevon Carter.
Oh, why would I be mad at
Here's why. Because at the beginning of this podcast, we were all predicting Kobe to suck. Well, not me. We're all predicting Kobe to phase himself out of the starting lineup and Jevon Carter to start. I don't know if you watched the game the other day. He didn't play the entire first half, Jevon Carter. Okay? He's too streaky. He was supposed to come in. Now, granted, he was never the answer to come in, take the reins, and elevate us to a championship. Right. I'm not saying that. But he was supposed to be the guy to come in, hit the 3 consistently.
Well,
and
also, real quick, sorry, I'll let you go back real quick. Everyone thought that Jevon Carter was going to be the starting point guard for this team.
I still said Kobe would.
Yeah, I think you're the only one. Like, you are the only one. Like, even, like, sports writers and everything were saying we're expecting Jevon Carter to start because Lonzo's still out. They don't have a good starting quality point guard in Ayo or Kobe.
Yes.
So, but
and,
go ahead.
And this is coming from analysts. Have you guys ever seen Jevon Carter on the court?
Yeah.
He doesn't play point guard. He doesn't put people in a position.
He's good. He's
a spot-up shooter.
He's better off ball than with the ball in his hand.
Right. But that's my opinion. I think that what we got him for, he's not doing. And for what he was expected to be, he doesn't even come close. Now, could it be that Kobe White's like emergence overshadow him tenfold? Maybe. But I don't think you could put that the biggest disappointment on this team was Zach, because Zach is still putting up Zach Lavine numbers.
Did you watch Carter when he was on the Bucks?
On the Bucks, yes, 100%.
He played exactly the same.
Yes, but here's the thing: expectation versus reality. So on the Bucks, hey, he was good. So I expect you to come to this team and perform the same way.
He is.
I mean, he's playing the same style, but I think that stats-wise and shooting-wise and even like presence, he's taken a step back. Mm-hmm. Look at Zach. Zach came out last year and scored multiple, he scored very heavily. He's doing the same thing now. Look at Vooch. Vooch came out last year and is identical. We'll just say it. Is playing identical to last year. Minus, he's taken a rebounding step back. He's not getting as many doubles as he was. Now, why I'm not saying Vooch is more disappointing, because I'm starting to think that age is catching up to Vooch.
Yeah, I was about to say age is probably playing a factor in Vooch's game.
Right. So he's never really disappointing. It's just at what point do you cut the cord and say, hey, Vooch, thanks, but we got to move on. But when you get a guy to come in to be that rifleman, that three-point shooter, and I don't want to say he's a bad three-point shooter. Javon Carter's a great three-point shooter, but I've seen him miss a lot of good looks lately. I'm just saying. So I'm going to say Javon Carter.
I feel like Javon Carter is basically a worse Ayo Dosunmu that can't drive. Like, he plays pretty good defense. He has games where he just goes nuts and scores like 15 points, but then the next game he'll score 5.
Dude, that's how he was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He's playing the exact same as he was in Milwaukee. Like, when we signed him, I was happy because I've seen so many games in Milwaukee because, my dad has had season tickets and I would see him all the time. So I was happy that we stole a Bucks player because I'm not a big fan of the Milwaukee Bucks. And 2 was because I knew that, he was a 3-and-D kind of guy and that's what we needed. I wouldn't say he's disappointing just because he's playing his game, the game that he's always played. So everything that he's been doing this season isn't out of the ordinary for me because I saw him previous years with Milwaukee. That's my big thing. Also, I've noticed that we've been talking a lot of shit about Vooch. So real quick, I want to ask, who are the top 5 centers in the East?
In the East?
In the East. Do you think that Vooch is a top 5 center in the East? I guess that should be my question.
I'm gonna pull a Chappelle on this one. Joel Embiid, Joel Embiid, Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid.
Well, I know.
There you go.
I understand that Joel Embiid is probably the best big man in the game today, right next to Joker. And Embiid is obviously the best center in the East. But I mean, okay, so there's Embiid, Bam, and then who's after Bam?
I mean, Miles Turner.
Oh yeah, Miles Turner. I always forget about Indiana because corn. I don't care about Indiana.
I love how there's going to be people that tune into this show just to listen to Dan destroy the United States geographically.
My stupid antics.
Miles Turner, yeah, Bam.
Is Jared Allen better? Is Claxton better?
I forget about Claxton.
Brook Lopez.
Lopez is. He was. I mean, if you're talking New Jersey,
I would say he is a top 5 center in the East.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
But also, I think the East, their centers kind of suck.
Yeah, they do. That's kind of what I'm getting at, guys. There's not a lot of good centers in the East. So,
but also, there's not a lot of good centers in the league. Like,
that is true. It's been dying for years now. That position.
Yeah. Like, Al Horford is 37 and he's a center. Like,
yeah, it always blows my mind that Al Horford's still playing.
Yeah. Steven Adams is still playing as a center. Like, come on.
All right. Well, I just thought we were throwing a lot of shade at Vooch, so I just wanted to...
No, Vooch is... I just think he's He's lost a massive. He's taken a step back because he's slow and he can't. He gets blown by on all the time on pick and rolls. He only has one move on offense, and it's pick and roll or pick and pop. It's like every single play. That's the play with him.
Well, and that's the main reason why we got Vooch, is to complement Zach with the pick and roll kind of play. And those two don't have any chemistry.
Well, that's the problem too, is he can't score down low. And so you can't do the pick and roll, and
you can do the pick and pop.
Yeah, but he can't shoot any. He could shoot, but not nearly as good as he used to be able to. So he's taken a pretty big step back, and I just don't think he rebounds well anymore.
But, moving on to critical thinking too. Now I have a question for you, gentlemen. Okay, since the Bulls, since we're all Bulls fans here, I wanted to ask you guys, in your opinion, who was your favorite Bulls draft bust?
Draft bust.
Yes.
Oh man. There's been so many.
It could be first rounders, second rounders, but who is your favorite draft bust? And I'm only asking you this because I'm sitting here with a number 45 Denzel Valentine jersey.
Yeah, I think my pick is going to be Denzel Valentine, just because.
You don't like Denzel. Don't even know.
No, he's my favorite bust. Just because going into the league, everyone was talking about how he plays like Draymond Green, the psycho, for our listeners who weren't sure who I was talking about. Because he could pass the ball. He does those hockey-style passes and everything, and he can also shoot the three. And God, did he come into this league and just suck. He's without a doubt one of the worst players I've ever seen in this league.
All right.
So that's my bust. It's my favorite bust.
Scott, who's your bust?
It's probably tied between Chandler Hutchinson and Jordan Bell. Like, Jordan Bell's hard because he was a second-round pick, but we had some decently high hopes that he would come in and be able to play a backup center. And he just could not do anything. Well, actually, I think he went to Golden State. He could not do shit in Golden State.
Who was this again?
Jordan Bell.
Oh, yeah. The cash considerations, yeah.
Yeah. But Chandler Hutchinson, we thought he was going to come in, be able to hit the three, do all those kind of things, being kind of like a Kyle Korver type player. Yeah, and he was terrible.
I remember, I forgot, maybe it was Stacey King. Like, I don't know this for sure, but I remember someone saying that his game is very similar to Scottie Pippen's, and that got me hyped about him. Now, he is my least favorite Expo because of the antics he did once he got traded.
And coincidentally, Scottie Pippen is starting to be your also. Hey, there's your comparison right there.
Full circle.
No, I don't know if you guys. Okay, so my pick for my favorite draft bust of all time. You guys weren't watching basketball when this happened, but Tyrese Thomas, man.
Oh, dude, I thought Tyrese Thomas was going to be a beast.
Tyrese Thomas and LSU could jump out of the stadium. That's why we drafted him, and that's why we traded a phenomenal power forward in LaMarcus Aldridge for Tyrese Thomas. But Tyrese Thomas had sky-high energy. He just never evolved and made it in the NBA. He did go to the Bobcats and play minutes, but
that's it.
That man could have been – he played minutes. But, man, that man had energy. The dunks that he would throw down, the blocks. I wish he was a better jump shooter, but then again, I wish he was a better player. I love Tyrese Thomas.
Jump shooting really wasn't a thing for big men back then.
No, yeah, and that's why. But it was starting to.
Yeah.
You could see it was starting to.
The trend was just starting.
But that was also during the time where the small forward was starting to become the power forward and vice versa, yada, yada, yada. So Tyrese Thomas, I loved.
Yeah, I loved watching his dunks.
Yeah, that question was inspired by me scrolling through Twitter and seeing an old video of Tyrese Thomas in a Bulls jersey. I'm like, man, what could have been? What could have been?
I saw a little tribute to Tyrese Thomas. Someone said today's Bulls legend is Tyrese Thomas, and I was like, one, he's not a legend. Two, this guy sucked.
He's pretty legendary.
He had flashes of being good, but overall, I would say that, yes, he for sure is a bust.
Sal, I'm surprised you didn't say Eddie Curry.
I said bust. That man's an NBA champion.
Oh my God! By default. So who's that dude that just retired from Miami?
Udonis Haslem?
Yeah. Did he?
What do you mean by default? He like whooped ass when it was. He was like the best. He was like one of the best power forwards after Bosh. I think maybe stolen rings would be like Ish Smith. I mean, I'll give you that.
If we're talking about like high draft pick and they didn't pan out to be what they are, Stacey King. He was a 6th overall pick, and he was, like Dan said before, he was an average player as a 6th round pick or a 6th overall pick. So does that count as a draft
Stacey
bust?
King,
yeah, does that count as a draft bust?
My man Stacey King just unsubscribed.
Stacey, don't unsubscribe. We love you. Give me the hot sauce.
But
Stacey.
he's still the best. He's still the best announcer of all time.
Yeah, might have been the most average bowl player in history, but he is without a doubt one of the best announcers.
Fellas, happy 10th podcast. So to give the people
What they want?
what they want, yeah, I've decided to bring 2 games today. So the first game, because inspired by the Ring of Honor or the Ring of Dishonor, we talked about in our previous podcast. If you haven't listened to that, go check that out. We break down the Ring of Honor. I want to test your guys' knowledge on athletes that played the NBA that are Hall of Famers or good players that never won a ring. So I'm gonna describe this player to you, and you guys got to be the first one to say who it is. Now remember, all these players don't have rings. Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 of them, and you
Are
just
they all
guess.
Bulls? They're all Bulls.
No, just NBA players. Okay. A couple of them were almost Bulls. Okay, ready? He was a center.
Amari Stoudemire.
No, I said potential Hall of Famers. He's most noted for doing a commercial where he blocks people.
Patrick Ewing?
No.
Nope.
It's no, it's the finger waving guy. Shit.
Mutombo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mutombo never won a
That's
NBA
crazy.
title.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. Played for the Jazz.
Karl Malone.
He also didn't win one, but that's not the guy I was thinking of.
John Stockton.
Okay. Another one that I was okay. Is he played a little before our time. He's one of the pioneers of the game. He played in the 70s, I believe, or 60s. Oh wow. Okay. His nickname was Pistol.
Oh, Pistol Pete.
Pete Maravich.
Last name.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. I'll give it to both.
Wait,
of you
he's
guys.
not a Hall of Famer?
He
Yeah.
is a Hall of Famer.
You said.
Oh, I thought-
But he never won a ring.
okay.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Indiana.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. So 2-1. All right. I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 teams, and you tell me who it is. Philly,
Allen Iverson.
Phoenix.
Oh no,
No.
Charles Barkley.
Yep. Oh, yep. Charles
Said
Barkley.
Philly and Phoenix. He's the
Yep.
third team. Houston. Did he play for Houston? He played for Houston,
He
right?
did. He played for Houston. Yep. All right. Last one. Even though Dan already won, I just want to see if you know this guy anyway.
Dan didn't win. It's tied 2-2, isn't it?
2-2-2.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
2-2.
Okay, 2-2. Okay, this is the tiebreaker. I'm sorry. Okay, ready? Iceman.
I forgot this guy's name. I know exactly who he is.
Isn't that Karl Malone?
No, that's the
No,
mailman.
that's
That's the
Oh,
mailman.
That's the
mailman. You're right.
mailman.
You're right.
This guy's from like the 80s.
Who? The guy I'm thinking
Yeah.
of? Okay. All right. I'll give you another hint. San Antonio
No.
and Chicago.
Is it
He was a
DeRozan?
big man, right?
He was a big man.
Oh my god. I don't remember this guy's name. I don't. I can
It's for the tiebreaker.
Is
I
it-
know, I don't know, Sal.
You said they're Hall of Famers?
I don't know.
Yeah, or no, like Hall of Fame caliber players. Like they're good players.
Okay, so it's Nazir. It's not Nazir Muhammad.
No, it's he's American.
Yeah, he is.
I don't remember this guy's name. Like I remember watching like on NBA TV about old players from like the 70s and 80s.
All right, his initials are GG.
That doesn't help at all, dude.
His first name is George. This is
Costanza?
disturbing. No, George Gervin.
Gervin.
Okay, gee, okay. Well, I guess there's got to be a bonus round.
You got to do one more because we did not know that one.
Okay, New York.
Patrick Ewing.
Yes. Okay. All right. So Dan wins this one. Jeez, guys. He played for the Bulls.
That was the hard one. Okay.
It was.
What year did he play?
85.
Yeah.
Okay.
For us.
Yeah. 85.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was. Yeah.
Because I remember like I could see the picture of him like sitting in like a throne, and like the two basketballs he has are like made of ice, and it just says like Iceman above it. Oh.
I'm actually looking at that picture
right
now. Why I Was Born to Score. That's I think that's his book. Yeah, you're looking at his book. That's the cover of his book. Shout out George Gervin.
Also,
all right.
They had way better nicknames back then.
Oh yeah, they did. We can do a whole game on. Oh, I should do a game on people's nicknames.
I mean, if you want, yeah, go for it. We have such trash nicknames now. Like just Paul George PG-13. Oh, real original.
That's actually good though.
He changed his number. He didn't start as PG-13.
I know
he started like his number originally was like 20 something.
But now it's just like your first initial and your last name,
CP3,
like D Rose.
CP3.
Yeah. I mean,
like let's bring back like names like Black Mamba or like Durant has one of the coolest nicknames of all time, the Slim Reaper. Like
that's so a cool name.
Durantula.
The Durantula, yeah. Dame Dollar.
Like Derek was the Windy City Assassin.
That was by far one of the coldest nicknames ever. I love that name.
No one has good names anymore. They just call Giannis the Greek Freak, and that's about as cool as it gets these days.
What, we had The Truth.
The Truth, The Answer.
The Truth, The Answer.
Bring in Michael Scott. That's the question.
The Big Ticket.
The Big Ticket. The Mailman.
The Mailman.
Obviously, like you said, the Iceman. Pistol Pete.
Well,
Pistol Pete.
We got
even that's kind of
the Beard with Harden.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus Shuttleworth.
Ray Allen.
Oh yeah.
Like they had some dope nicknames back in the day.
Probably my favorite nickname of all time was the Round Mound of Rebound.
Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right. We're gonna do an episode just on nicknames, or a game just on nicknames. All right, but for my second game, I'm gonna give you a Chicago Bulls player. I'm gonna give you 5 of them, and I want you to tell me what jersey they wore.
Oh God. Okay.
Just I want to test your guys' knowledge. So I'm gonna give you 5 Bulls, and you give me the jersey they wore. Okay. We'll start off nice and easy. Okay. Nice and easy. Ron Harper.
Oh, 2. 9.
What? 9. Yes. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay, 9. Yes. All right. Number 2, Chris Duhon.
5.
Nope.
3.
Nope.
25.
Getting closer.
24.
Getting closer.
22.
Getting closer.
21.
Yeah,
There we go.
21. Jeez. A lot of that's a hard one. A lot of people forgot about Chris Duhon. Okay. Let's see who we have here. Not going to say John Lucas III. It wouldn't be a 10th podcast anniversary if we didn't mention John Lucas.
The great John Lucas.
Yeah, the great John Lucas III. Okay. Big Scales.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my God.
I think he was 34 or something like that.
Nope.
Was he 10?
No. How can he wear 10 if Bob Love was 10?
Oh, that's right.
He was in the 40s, I think, right?
He was in the 40s for other team, but for us, he was in a different number.
He was in the teens, right?
Nope.
What?
Give us a range.
20s.
24.
24.
24. Yep.
Because he was one better than Michael. Okay. That's right.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Of course. All right. Bulls legend, Tony Snell.
21? 22?
22, yeah.
No.
28?
20.
Just 20, okay. Well,
Yeah.
We are bad at this game.
Yeah, we are terrible at this game.
Okay, all right. Last one. This is all right, Stacey King.
Oh my god, I forgot. He was in the
45?
20s, right?
He was in the 20s as well, yeah, but not 25.
27,
Nope.
21.
23.
Yep.
Everybody's 21.
What? You say 23?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you said 23 and 33. I knew we're not going to be on that.
Yeah, like, there was no way I was going to ask you what number was Jordan.
I don't know.
45?
Numbers.
Duh.
Yeah. I didn't say Denzel. Anyway. Yeah, so there you go. Dan, did you take both of those?
I think I did.
Dadgummit, man. I got to start thinking of more challenging games than just shout random numbers.
7,
I think-
12.
You absolutely should do the nickname one.
Yeah, you should
The
definitely.
nickname one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
be fun.
We'll give the people what they want.
If you go on to Basketball Reference and look up current people, they do have their nicknames.
Is it just like no one calls them that because they don't know, or what? Like what is Trae Young's nickname? Is it Tiny? Is it Tiny because he's
Ice Tray.
Yeah, Ice Tray. Like
Ice Tray?
Zach Lavine, Flight 8.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Gucci Mane.
DeMar is Debo.
Yeah.
So I guess we have solid nicknames in the league today.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero. All right, I got to stop saying names. You're gonna know the answer.
It was Agent Zero, which was Gilbert.
That's
no,
pretty
but
cool.
Sub-Zero is Kobe.
Yeah. By the way, Kobe leads the league in minutes played for somehow.
Nice. Good for Kobe.
All right, so that was our games. We had 2 of them this time around. Dan taking both of them. Very nice. Congrats to Dan. He's won the grand prize of
Nothing.
now knowing who George Shervin is. Jeez. Oh man. Well, I think we're gonna draw this episode to a close. Do you guys got anything for the listeners for our 10th show?
Yeah, go on to the All-Star website and please vote for Kobe White to make All-Star. Can you vote for 3-point contest?
No, I don't know.
If you can vote for 3-point contest, vote for Kobe in that as well. Let's get it so there's not just one Bulls player at the All-Star game.
Yeah. Currently, DeMar DeRozan is the only Chicago Bull being represented. All right, Scott, what do you got?
Well, I kind of want to just go on a rant about the All-Star game, which it's garbage. But
Just
I can
save that for later.
I'll do that later, but All-Star game sucks.
We'll do that during the All-Star game.
Vote for Kobe. He's been tearing it up this year. He's not a starter, but he's not even top 10 for guards in the East. So vote
He's
for
trending
him.
that way, though. He's trending in the right direction.
Yeah. Fun fact, apparently his first name is Alec.
No, I did not know that. So
Yeah.
Kobe's his middle?
No, his middle name is Jacoby.
Oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But vote for Kobe. Debo, probably same thing. He deserves to be an all-star. I think Kobe will be voted in by like the coaches and players more than the fans because the fan voting is dog shit.
All right.
It really is.
But vote for Kobe.
But vote for Kobe. All that aside, vote for Kobe. All right. Well, thank you guys once again for listening to us, for tuning in. Please continue to do so. Please head over to our Twitter, show us some love, follow us, post us your comments. If there's something you'd like to see on the show or discussed on the show, we'll be happy to accommodate that for you. Slide over to our link tree, click on our other socials, follow us there. And if you haven't already, slide on over to the See Red UK page and check out their podcast that we did a collab with about the midway point in the NBA season. It was a good one. We thank them for having us on. They're a great group of guys. We hope to do more collabs with them, and if you haven't already, give them some love, support them, give them a follow. They have a really great podcast. It's really great to see Bulls Nation reaching overseas to our countries overseas. It's just phenomenal. That's going to do it for tonight. As always, don't forget to see red and go Bulls.